Okay, this is the first video in the Mixin Udemy course. What we're going to do is we're going to look at the Mixin white paper and just talk about what Mixin is at a very high level, and later we'll dig into the details throughout the course. What we'll end up building is a MyEther wallet or my crypto wallet, but specifically for the Mixin network. If you're familiar with the Ethereum web wallets that I mentioned just a second ago, we'll essentially be doing a clone of that, but specifically for the Mixin network. So the way I've heard Mixin described is it's like a Lightning network. If you're familiar with the Lightning network for Bitcoin, this is like a Lightning network for many different blockchains. So the idea is that it will handle transactions from Dash, Monero, Bitcoin, Ethereum, etc., etc. You'll be able to kind of import these into the Mixin network, do your transactions, transact with other people in the Mixin network really quickly, because there's no mining going on, and for various other reasons, the Mixin network is much more quick than something like the Bitcoin blockchain. It's very similar again to the Lightning network. Once you're done importing all these assets and transferring them, you can then transfer them out of the Mixin network and back onto, let's say, the Bitcoin blockchain. So we'll kind of talk about that. It functions a little bit like a Lightning network, and then also kind of like a decentralized exchange in a way too, because you can transfer between assets inside the Mixin network. So it's a super interesting project. I mean, you also have smart contracts and things like that. They've also added these. At one point in the white paper, I think at the bottom somewhere, they say, it's important to remember that all these things that we're talking about in this white paper are already built. So they're not coming up with like brand new algorithms for the most part. They're just taking all of the ideas in the general crypto ecosystem and putting them into one project where it can all be utilized together, essentially. So if we continue from that discussion and look at this overview diagram. So how do they do this, inter-blockchain communication, if you will, or this DEX behavior, if you will? What they have here is, so in Bitcoin, you've got the miners. They're all full nodes. They're mining blocks, and one block points back to the next block, and things move forward from there. In Mixin, what we have is we've got this kernel, which is a set of nodes that are handling certain aspects of transaction processing. And then outside of the kernel's nodes are connecting to domain nodes. You can see these blue nodes here that are on the peripheral of the kernel. These domain nodes have their own kind of responsibility. And then outside of the domain nodes, you have the domain extension nodes. And those are even further out of the peripheral of the entire Mixin network. So what we'll do is we'll talk about what each of these nodes does and what it's responsible for in the next video. I'll see you then.